I'm going to say this again for the umpteenth time. I'm going to say this to the point that you might think it's the same story, but it's not. You might say that I'm repeating a particular theme, and I can understand that, but I'm not. I'm telling you right now, absolutely unequivocally, one of the most important things that you must understand and grasp is that if you really want to understand anything, whether it's politics, business, crime, you've got to understand what is going on in people's heads. You have to grasp that. What is Fani Willis thinking now? The most fascinating person is Terrence Bradley. That's the person. That's the one. And most people are surprised by that. They go, "Oh, Fani Willis." No, Fani Willis is very, very. There's nothing fascinating about her particular way of thinking because she's an arrogant, stuck up, hyperinflated, kind of an egomaniacal rube, in my opinion. And there's nothing really that fascinating about her. I've seen her type before. You have. Entitled, arrogant, know-it-all, kind of a Karen type, just boorish, nasty, horrible boss, imperious, loves to be just in charge. How dare you? How dare you ask me these questions? Don't you know who I am? I'm okay. You understand that one? Okay, good. That's what's important. The information, and there have been some great folks doing their own podcast versions of this. I don't really watch other people, but in my rotation, they will come along and I will see it, and they'll spend a little bit too much time on pointing to just a particular fact as opposed to explaining what it means. Raul Rodriguez says, has Bradley compromised Fani? Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you, Raul. Absolutely. Let me tell you the dynamics of this. There is the fact, there is the case itself, the one involving Fani, the one involving Wade, the one in, okay, that's that. Okay, that's that particular case. What is even more incredibly interesting about this whole event is that the stench that Bradley throws on this adds miles of testimony. It gives a flavor. It gives a spice. It reminds people just how monumentally corrupt these people are. But here is the one that is the most incredibly interesting. Bradley is the most, I don't even know what. Why would Terrence Bradley, be talking to Ashley Merchant ever? Why? There is something that a lot of people have, okay? And there's a very it's kind of like I think it's a way of speaking. And that is, you don't tell people anything. You are not a squealer. Lawyers keep their mouth shut. You always want to support, you always want to protect your ticket. And there are some things that will get you just killed automatically. One of them is if you have, let's say, an escrow account, a trust account, and somebody gives you, $1 million to, close a case or close whatever it is, and you spend it, or you even commingle the fund, I mean, that's it. You're killed. You're killed. That's one thing. Affecting your violating the privilege of your case is so important. Let me ask you a question. Imagine you are a lawyer, okay? And somebody comes to you and says, "Listen, may I ask you a question? May I let me get this straight. If I tell you something, you're not going to tell anybody else?" That's correct. So there is this privilege. Yes, there is. By the way, forgive me, I just had some smoking Ed's. I got that hot sauce, that Reaper stuff. It is so wonderful. It's like your mouth is not on fire, but it's like it's vibrating. It's wonderful. Okay. So somebody comes to you and says, "Let me ask you a question. If I tell you something, are you going to keep this quiet?" Yes. Will you not tell anybody? Nope. And you do not have to engage somebody to be their lawyer. I mean, it helps to pay them. Here, give me $1. Okay, now you're my lawyer. And all that. I don't even know. You can go to a lawyer, tell him what you think, tell him what's going on. He may say, or she might say, "This is not my kind of case. This is not for me." But you've already told me stuff. And even though I'm not your lawyer, I can't tell anybody this. Okay, so imagine this. Somebody comes to you and says, "Listen, I'm going to tell you something." Now that they've gotten from you this absolute guarantee. You know that guy on death row who's going to be executed tomorrow? Yeah. Well, guess what? I did it. What? I did it. I did it. Yeah, I did it. Hang on. Sorry, I had to. Mrs. L is texting me, and I have to talk to her. Just a minute. Just a minute. I'm so sorry. You will understand. She comes first. She comes first. And that thing. Okay. There we go. Sorry. Okay. Now, back to what I said. The guy comes to you and says, "Listen, I want you to know, that guy on death row? Yeah. The one who's going to be executed? Yeah. Well, guess what? I killed that person." What? I killed that person. Not the person they're going to testify. Wait a minute. What? I killed that person. Not the person they're going to execute. The one who's going to be executed tomorrow morning, they didn't do it. I did it. How do I know you did it? Now, this is the one you can say, because I said I did it. Now, you could say to yourself, the guy's a nut. The guy's a nut. And I mean, that alone isn't going to mean anything. Oh, yeah? How about pictures? Can I show you pictures? You've got pictures? Of course I've got pictures. Of course I got pictures. What are you talking about? What? Okay. The bottom line is this. Would you, as a lawyer, be able to keep quiet the fact that somebody killed somebody else and that somebody might be dying innocently, what would you do? What would you do? Would you keep your mouth shut? Would you say, well, a privilege is a privilege? Sorry. What would you do? What would you do? Would you say anything? Would you say, sorry? That guy's going to be, and he said, I didn't do it. And if anybody knows, that's right, Liz, we need 3,000 likes. Yes. If somebody says, I didn't do this. If anybody knows who did it, please help me. They're going to kill me. And you know it. What would you do? Let me change this. What if you were a priest? Same thing. You're a priest. What would you do? Somebody comes to you and actually says this stuff. Somebody comes to you and gives you this information. You're a priest. Same thing. Now here's the thing too, which you got to understand. Let me give you a little bit of information, a little insight on this, which is critical. I think a privilege is a tickle. A privilege is an arrangement. It is an agreement. It is an understanding. It is a relationship that you have with certain people in life that society wants to maintain. Attorney-client. Makes sense, right? Let me ask you something. Is there a doctor-patient privilege? Is there a doctor-patient privilege? Let's say you go to a doctor and all of a sudden you got a bullet wound in them. Now, by the way, this is tough sometimes because sometimes there are things called reporters, mandatory reporters. And these are people who have to and who must report evidence of child abuse, for example, or they have to go to the authorities and report child abuse. It's called a mandatory reporting system. But in this particular case, let's say you go to a doctor, and by the way, sometimes doctors in emergency rooms have this thing about bullets. You get shot, you got to call the police. Okay, what happens? What happens if you go to your doctor and somebody says, "How'd you hurt yourself, Dave?" Well, if you want to know, I was robbing a bank. And they shot me. In fact, they're looking for me right now. Now, let's just take out that first part of this where the doctor may have some mandatory reporting duties. Is there a doctor-patient privilege? Check your state, because sometimes the answer is no. There's attorney-client, accountant-client, clergyman penitent, priest and whatever it is. There's psychotherapist patient, shrinks, sex therapist or sex abuse counselor, but there's no doctor patient. None. Check this thing. Check the rules of your state. Check. Because here's the duty. Here's the story. There's the reason for the privilege is they can't be called in. They can't be compelled. Terrence Bradley could not have been called in to testify when certain things happen. If a statement was made with a reasonable expectation of privacy, if it was made confidentially, he could not be called in. He could not be called in. He could not be compelled to give testimony. Could not. This is critical. I can't explain it enough to you. But what if Terrence says, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm going to say it anyway. You can keep it out of, you can keep it. I mean, it could be a mistrial. You can keep it out of the hearing, and the person in a separate hearing would most probably lose their license because this is such a blatant and flagrant violation. Now, what happens if a person waives it? Let's assume there's somebody who holds the privilege, and that's the most important. And an attorney-client privilege, it's the client who holds the privilege. And a clergyman penitent, it's the penitent, it's the sinner. He holds the privilege. What about husband and wife? Oh, that's an interesting one too. I don't want to get too much into these things because you have two different ones. You have the husband and wife privilege, then you have the testimonial privilege. But bottom line is this. Terrence Bradley, on his own, is talking to Ashley Merchant. I didn't even know what the hell he was doing. And he was saying things to her like, you know what? Do yourself a favor. Go and find out about the money. Find out about how much he made. Find out where they went to Florida. Talk to Yurdi. He's giving him all this stuff. Now, the question is, was that really confidential information? Was it confidential information? I don't know. Was that information made? Did Nathan Wade waive this? Did he tell other people? If he told other people that he has started the relationship with, what's her name, Early, with Fani, he's waived the privilege. He's already told people. If you've waived it, then there is no confidential communication anymore. It's that simple. And that may be one of the reasons, because they could say, look, Wade's told people this. Not that the information was known, but that he did this. Did Wade tell other people? What if Nathan Wade decided to tell someone in another situation, a confidential case? Let's say there was another lawyer. And he told another lawyer. Well, that will be obviously protected as well. That will be privileged. But what if he's told other people? What if he told his wife? What if he told this? Now his wife may, because that may be another privilege. But let's assume he's at a party and he says, yeah, I know that. Or by virtue of his actions, not that he said, yes, I'm involved in a sexual relation with her. No. What if he said specifically something to the effect of, and this is important, what if he said that he's kind of intimated, he kind of, let people know. He wasn't just, telling people. He was, by virtue of how he acted, kind of laughing at this whole thing. By the way, May Simmons is a new member. May, welcome aboard. Thank you, May. What if a judge were to say, everybody knew he was stooping Fanny? He was telling everybody. They were parading around. He was kind of acting like a big shot. He was, when they were going on their trips, everybody saw this. Everybody knew this. They were talking. They were showing pictures. This wasn't kept quiet. They were out and about. When you have an adult man who's married on a cruise with a woman, what do you think they're doing? Is that a relationship? See, you got to be staying away from this relationship. You mean having sex or having a relationship? What's the difference? It's a big difference. This may be all waived. It may be all completely done. There may be no privilege, because Wade, now Fani Willis can't waive it. Can't waive the privilege because she's a part of this, but she can say whatever she wants. But if Nathan Wade kept his mouth shut the whole time and said absolutely nothing to anybody, and may have been seen together, that's a different story. So now you've got this guy, Terrence. What were you talking to Ashley Merton? You are going to be put on display. You're it. And she's even saying, now listen, I'm feeling kind of weird about this. This is going to blow things up. Go ahead. And she has the text messages. He said this. And yet he's at the same time saying, I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember. You don't remember. This is the biggest case involving the prosecution for racketeering of a former president. Nobody's ever done this. Your client is now special prosecutor. All eyes are on Fulton County. You know that he has been stooping Fani. You're texting. By the way, do not text. Why do you people text? Why? Why do you drunk text? Why do you, I don't know what it is. This is forever. This is forever. Then we get into all kinds of stuff too. Is this hearsay? What is this? It's an out-of-court statement, not made under oath, the text, that's being offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted. How do I know who this is from? How do I know who? Well, it says his number. I don't know. We'll get into that later. There's all kinds of evidentiary problems. Are you sure this is him? Can anybody else get this? Are you sure this is it? Very simple. Mr. Wade, yeah. Did you text this? I don't recall. Excuse me. Is this your number? Is your number 21, whatever it is? Is this your number? Yes. Anybody else? You share your phone with anybody else? No. You don't remember this? And just have blow these text messages up. These screenshots, just, oh my God. You don't remember any of this stuff? Nothing? He's stuck. He wants to get out of this so bad. Now they made him out to be almost like a rapist. They made him out. I mean, this is the most incredible thing anybody's ever seen before. It's unbelievable. Absolutely, truly, without a doubt, unbelievable. It's just incredible. And now he's hesitating. And Ashley Merchant, the lawyer for Roman, he's saying, you don't remember what? It's me. We were talking. We were kind of like buds. We were on the phone or texting. You were giving me encouragement. You were saying, don't have, and I even told you, now listen, I'm going to have to subpoena you. Well, be strong. Do what you want to do. He basically cut any and all ties with these folks. I don't understand this. Why? One of the things that Ashley Merchant should have done is ask herself, is there anything I should know about this? Is there anything in particular? Why are you showing such animosity towards these people? What do you do? What is going on here? That's the most fascinating case. And then he's just like, why? Huh? It's unbelievable. It's fascinating. It's the most incredible thing. It's the most incredible story. It is so interesting. I mean, the details of the calling our romance, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And I think, methinks that all of a sudden, I think that Judge McAfee is going to be looking for, I think his first, if anybody's going to run against him. Now, this is, I think, a Democratic county. How do you think the Democrats are going to do with him? So he's thinking to himself, what do I do? Now, so far, I haven't done anything. Remember I told you this the other day, if I were to disqualify Fani Willis, this is the judge now, what is this Democratic electorate going to do? Now, I think Kemp was the one who appointed him, who's a Republican, and so does he side with the Republican? I mean, he can't. Look, the bottom line is this: there's no way. This case is so effed up, and I think you know what F means. I think this case is so bad and so inextricably, unbelievably, unimaginably screwed up. It is something the likes of which no one has ever seen before. And there's no way that he can possibly allow this to in any way continue. There's just no way. The people of Fulton County have had their case destroyed. The people of Fulton County, number one. What am I trying to say? I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know how one could argue that President Trump has been affected negatively by this. I don't know. Stand by for 1 second, dear friends. Think about these things very, very carefully. Just think. There's so much. Am I throwing too much at you? I hope not. I don't think so. I think you can handle it. Just take a break. You know what I mean? Maybe lie down on the divan or the settee and have a nice pillow to put your head on, and not just any pillow, but this pillow. Well, it is time yet again, my friends, to hail and salute our great friends at mypillow.com. And if you use promo code Lionel, you'll get a free gift. No purchase necessary. And yes, I know, a free gift. It's a tautology, so sue me. But first, please listen. What are we talking about here? Down comforters, flannel sheets, Giza Dream bed sheets, My Pillow 2.0 sheets, slippers, percales, towels, quilts, bedspreads, mattresses, mattress covers, mattress toppers, linens, kitchen towels, bathrobes, name it. Literally name it. Items to help you luxuriate and relax. And they're monster sellers. Slippers, my slippers. That's right, slip-ons, moccasins. Think about it. What do they do at My Pillow? They make things real soft and plush and comfy. How perfect. Now here's the link. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel, or MyPillow.com/Solidus or Virgil /Lionel, or call 800-645-4965. And watch how fast Mike answers the phone. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Promo code Lionel. Simply and absolutely the best. Now, tomorrow, the interesting news is that this is going to be hitting a critical mass tomorrow. So let's see what happens with that when the judge reviews. I would disqualify them immediately. Not because I like Trump, not because he's a good guy, but there's no way that this case has not been so contaminated. And there would be separate actions later on involving perjury, up to and including Nathan Wade. Did you perjure yourself? And in his divorce action, did he perjure himself when he filed various pleadings under oath? Did Fani Willis perjure herself? Paying cash, having 10,000. If you get, let me tell you something. If you get Nathan, you get his ass in a crack, and you squeeze him, and you say, "You better talk now," and we will do wonders for you if you do the right thing. Did she give you cash? No, she did. Perjury. Let's also bring up, not so much the father, because what the father said was true about, I guess, black folks. It's a black thing. Raul Rodriguez says, I bought the book you suggested, We're Here to Help When Guardianship Goes Wrong, by Diane Diamond. Do you think Wendy Williams is being exploited? Yes. Thank you, Raul. Yes. Yes. Oh my God. Watch that documentary. But thank you for that. But what's going to happen tomorrow? Remember this. You've got all these people, and they're wondering, what about me? And they're going to be putting so much pressure. If put it this way, if this were the Democrats in charge, if they were in charge, if the Democrats were in charge, not the Republicans, they would be on that judge demanding that he just absolutely lay them out, and that they be presented. Remember the 65 Project? The 65 Project, where these lawyers that went after, or this committee that went after lawyers that represented President Trump, claiming that he might have had a valid claim in his various cases. What am I trying to say? A valid claim to contest the election. They went after him. And anyway, all those lawyers were brought up on bar charges, because they said, you're pursuing something which, and I thought this was ridiculous, but you're pursuing something which is in and of itself extreme and a waste of time. If I know the Republicans like I think I do, they won't do anything. They won't be going after all of these people. Fani Willis, remember, and she's going to be looking at, they're going to try to go up against her. If she promotes this, depending upon the demographic makeup of Fulton County, depending upon the Democratic, I think it's very Democratic. And if she portrays herself as this proud Black woman who has been thrown under the bus because she dared to go after the big system, somebody might buy it. You'd have to be blind, deaf, and dumb, emphasis on dumb, to even get anywhere near that. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just explain this thing to you again. And this is so important. I've never seen anything like this ever. I've never seen anything in my life. I've never seen any case like this ever that is so devoid of anything even remotely honorable or rational. I would have never thought there's any way that this would have ever even been possible. I would have thought you're crazy. You can't get these many people being this stupid on a case, and I say this for the millionth time, that did not have to happen. It was a simple case. She could have said, yes, I snooped him, and that's it. But the lies beget lies, and that's where we are right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, I got a brand new drop coming up later on. Members get videos early. This story is terrific. You have shown a tremendous interest in it because of the characters that be. Tomorrow is going to be really interesting. So, all right, dear friends, we'll see you tonight at 7 p.m. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you so much for being a part of our ensemble. And until then, my dear friends, thank you so much yet again. And I mean this, Raul, thank you so much. And also our dear Raul and May Simmons, our new member. May, thank you. And Raulito, thank you as well. Anyway, we'll see you tonight at 7 p.m. But don't forget, the monkey's dead. The show's over. See you.